What is going on, Brownie Bros? It is Big Time Brownie, your coach of the Green Bay Yampers, here for another draft league. I'm really excited to do this one. It is the UPA Showdown division. I'm excited to do Showdown and not get away from Wi-Fi, but take a little bit of break from Wi-Fi, but also to start uploading again. Every single Monday, we will be uploading UPA videos, starting with this one, which is our draft analysis. Next Monday will be the Week 1 battle and team builder. It'll be one video. And then we're also going to be continuing our Nuzlocke that we started about a month ago. We're going to continue it, and we are going to finish it. That's the promise I made myself. We're going to finish that Nuzlocke on this channel. If you haven't checked out the first episode of that, make sure you go check it out after you're done watching this video. Anyway, like I said, we are in the UPA. It is a league run by JB Westside, a great content creator. Make sure you go check him out. He's been in a couple of our leagues before, including the IBL. Like I said, he's a great content creator and a great battler. Our buddy TRT is also in this league. If you have been at my streams, you'll know who TRT is. So really excited to be in another league with him, along with the TBA. Although we're not battling each other this season, which kind of sucks, but I'm sure he's happy to not be battling one of the Pokemon that we drafted. Anyway, so a little bit of background on this league. There are 16 teams. It was a points draft, the highest point total Pokemon being 18 points. We had the 9th pick in the draft. So, 9th pick is not the greatest place to be. You're right in the middle. You'd want to be towards the top or the end, so, you can sort of ensure you get some sort of synergy with your picks, but that is really hard to do with the 9th pick in the draft. But I'm really happy with the team we got actually, and the first pick was Garchomp. Garchomp fell to the 9th pick. I actually originally wanted to draft Mega Mawile or Mega Lopunny. I figured Mega Mawile wouldn't be there, but I thought Mega Lopunny might. But Mega Lopunny actually ended up going 2nd overall, and Mawile did fall to 6th. So I was hoping there for a little while that it would actually fall, but we had to settle for Garchomp. But it's not really settling because Garchomp is a phenomenal Pokemon. It has a great speed tier. It's really versatile. It has a really good offensive typing. Rough Skin is a nice ability. It can be defensive. You can stick a Rocky Helmet on it and just get a bunch of chip off on your opponents. It can be a setup sweeper with Swords Dance and now Scale Shot, so you can raise its speed. It's got a pretty nice move pool. Its lowest stat is a special attack with 80, but you can run Fire Blast or Surf. I don't know why you would run that, but you could. So overall, it's just a really, really nice Pokemon. Fire Blast is really the only thing you would run with Garchomp. Special, or maybe now Scorching Sands. Maybe who knows? Maybe we'll bust out a Scorching Sands Draco Meteor set this season. Probably not, but it's just a great Pokemon. I think it's really, I don't want to say easy, but it's just a Pokemon that's just really consistent in Draft League. It's something that your opponent always has to prep for. It has a really unique speed tier. It can outrun all the base 100 Pokemon, I'm really happy with it. I'm really happy that it fell to 9. I think it's one of the best Draft League Pokemon, to be honest, and like I said, one of my favorite mons to use. Next up, sort of like I alluded to at the beginning of this video, having the 9th pick in a 16-team draft is kind of difficult because you don't really know what's going to fall to you next. So I honestly didn't really have a plan going into the draft. I just sort of went with the flow. And sometimes it's more fun that way. You can't really get mad about getting sniped, because you have no plan. Anyway, our second pick was Tapu Coco. Tapu Coco fell all the way to the 2nd round to the 17th pick, which I was very, very surprised by. Another really solid Pokemon. This was an 18-pointer. It has a great attack stat and a decent special attack stat, but obviously that special attack electric type stab is boosted with the terrain. And its speed tier is phenomenal as well at 130. It's mostly an offensive Pokemon, but you can run dual screens if you'd like. It does get U-turn and Volt Switch, so some nice momentum. It also does get Defog now, as well as stored power, so Calm Mindset is decent now too. So just an overall really good Pokemon, and having Garchomp and Tapu Coco I just think are super threatening Also, having a terrain setter is really nice because, you know, having Tapu Coco means someone else doesn't have Tapu Coco. And you can also change the terrain if someone has, you know, like a Hawlucha team, or if they just have one of the other, any one of the other Tapus, so, or Rillaboom as well. So always nice to have a terrain setter and just a nice fast Pokemon that you can use to position some of your other Pokemon to win the game. So very, very happy with that. And so next up, I wanted a Pokemon that, a Steel type. Steel types were going really fast at this point. There weren't many left. I knew that, you know, the next Pokemon I picked would be going very soon. And actually the next two people after me wanted to pick it, as well as TRT a little bit later. And that happened to be Scissor. And I wanted Scissor because I wanted a Steel type that was immune, or not immune, that was not weak to ground, and also wasn't a flying type. I didn't want it to be a flying type because I wanted it to be a decent switch in. You know, if something is in on Tapu Coco trying to hit it with a poison type move or a ground type move, I just wanted a Steel type that wasn't weak to ground. And also Scissor on its own is just a really, really nice Pokemon. Just really nice Pokemon. And as I said, I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over my words. It's tired, and also I'm short of breath for some reason, so I don't know what that's about, but we're gonna fight through it. Scissor, so the reason why I didn't want a Steel Flying type is because I also wanted something that resisted Ice to pair well with Garchomp. Scissor checked both of those boxes. It resisted Ice, but it also is not weak to ground as a Steel type. And, you know, Scissor also is another really good momentum mom with U-turn. It can be defensive with, like, Roost and Defog. You can run Swords Dance. Obviously, it has a Technician boosted Bullet Punch and Bug Bite, and has some nice coverage in Knockoff and Superpower as well. Just a really, really solid Pokemon. And a Pokemon that hits extremely hard. And, you know, I believe our first three Pokemon, I mean, they're just really strong. Three really solid Pokemon. Obviously, they're a little bit physical heavy, and I think my whole team is a little bit physical heavy, but physical attacking heavy, rather. But Coco, I think, is going to... I mean, Coco can be either. So, with the fourth pick in the draft, we ended up taking... Our fourth pick in the draft, we ended up taking Slowbro. And I was honestly shocked. I was shocked that Slowbro fell this far. If I'm being completely honest, I was deciding between Slowbro and Scissor at number 3 for a third pick, because I figured Slowbro would go because there was a Trick Room team that I thought would appreciate Slowbro. I ended up going with Scissor because I thought Slowbro might be more replaceable with Slowking. I know they're not the same thing, but they do similar-ish things. So, but we ended up getting Slowbro with the fourth pick, which I'm very happy about. It's another ice resistance for Garchomp. Garchomp also provides the electric immunity as well for Slowbro. And, you know, just a really great defensive Pokemon now with heavy duty boots. You don't have to take chip from rocks or spikes, or you don't have to take a T-Spike if you don't want to. The way Teleport, you know, is now is just phenomenal. It can be a pretty good offensive threat with Future Sight and Scald, and obviously has some decent coverage in Ice Beam and Flamethrower and Fire Blast as well. And, you know, it just sponges hits, and you teleport out and you regenerate your health, and you come back in and you take another hit and you teleport out. So far we have 3 great momentum Pokemon with Coco, Scissor, and Slowbro. Mons that can help each other out and get each other in to do some damage and to force switches and to eventually, you know, in the late game set up with Garchomp if we need to, if that's the set we decide to bring. Next up, we actually drafted Mega Kangaskhan, and I was really conflicted about this pick because Mega Kangaskhan was 15 points, by the way. I didn't mention the other. Scissor was 13 points, which I thought was a great value pick. Garchomp was 16 points, which I also thought was a great value pick. Tapu Coco was 18, Slowbro was 15, and now Mega Kangaskhan is 15 points. I thought it might be a little bit indulgent, honestly, to take Mega Kangaskhan, but I did want a Ghost immunity to pair with Slowbro. I thought that would be really useful. And, you know, I've never used Mega Kangaskhan before, and I thought, you know what, why not use it? Why not use Mega Kangaskhan? You know, it's got a phenomenal attack stat. I wanted a 100 speed tier Pokemon, so you know, you had to force other 100 speed Pokemon to run Jolly or Timid, just because I wasn't sure if I would be able to get something that was, you know, 95 or 90 base speed. You never know how it's going to fit into your team. And with Garchomp, if I didn't have anything around the 100 speed, they could just run Timid. Or sorry, they could just run Adamant or Modest or whatever. Anyway, Mega Kangaskhan, you know, it used to be super broken, but now it got nerfed in Generation 7, so that Parental Bond only does 25% more damage. But, and also I should mention it's no Seismic Tox, so, you know, far less broken. But it is still a phenomenal Pokemon. You know, it has, unfortunately, it doesn't have Return anymore, but it still does have Stab, Double Edge, and Body Slam. It has some decent coverage for those Ghost types with Crunch, and for Dark types as well with Drain Punch. You know, it gets the Elemental Punches. I think it gets all the Elemental Punches. Yes, it does get all the Elemental Punches. It gets Earthquake, you know, Fake Out if I ever want to use that. Power Punch is really good because it hits twice and raises your attack twice. Also, it is a Wish user. I mean, I don't think I'm going to use Wish on Mega Kangaskhan, but, you know, sometimes you got to get creative. And it also gets Sucker Punch as well, so some priority, which, you know, we only have Bullet Punch right now from Mega Scissor, so honestly, I know this pick was indulgent. I don't think it made it's not like it made the most sense, but it's another super threatening Pokemon on this team, and I think, like, right now, just looking at the 5 that we have, I think it's a really hard team to prep for so far. And, you know, these are 5 Pokemon that you are going to need to be prepared for, all 5 of them so far. And as you can see, there are 11 slots, so we were able to get 11 Pokemon. You were able to pick between 9 and 11. I ended up stretching that out to 11. Next up, with our 6th pick, we took Sceptile. Sceptile, for those of you who don't know, is one of my absolute favorite Pokemon to use. I was in another showdown league called the CPA, and I had a Psychic Terrain team with Lele, Expanding Force, Alakazam, and this thing is my Unburden sweeper. So Sceptile does get Unburden. In that league, it came to 4 matches and had 13 kills and 2 deaths. And people really do sleep on Sceptile. It's not going to be the first thing that jumps off the page when you're prepping for a team. And it's kind of just like a sneaky assassin. With Unburden at 120 speed, it actually outspeeds Hawlucha if someone else has that. And it does get Acrobatics, so if I pop the Electric Seed, I can outspeed Hawlucha and hit it with an Acrobatics. It does get Swords Dance, which you're going to be setting up with. That's your main setup. Its attack stat's not great. It's 85. And unfortunately, its special moveset isn't the greatest, so you really do have to run physical, in my opinion. It gets Dragon Dance as well, but I mean, really, with this team, it's going to be Unburden and the Electric Terrain with Swords Dance, and it gets some really nice moves. It obviously gets Leaf Blade and Seed Bomb. You would never use Seed Bomb. You'd always use Leaf Blade, but it also has some really nice physical coverage as well. As I said, it gets Acrobatics, Drain Punch, Dragon Claw, Earthquake, Iron Tail, Outrage, Thunder Punch, Throat Chop, so an X Scissor. You know, just some really nice, really nice coverage there. So it's not a mon that's gonna come every week. You know, it's obviously not the greatest. It's not like an Earthquake resist, unfortunately, since it only has 65 defense. And you know, right now we don't really have an Earthquake resist. That's not coming until later. Or immunity, but I think it's just a Pokemon that's really fun to use, and a mon that can just take lives. So Bluegrass is here. It was a 6-point Pokemon, I think a decent value as well. Next up, we did end up drafting Arcanine. So we did end up getting a 95 speed Pokemon. I thought it would be really nice to have a fire immunity with Scissor, so it is a Flash Fire Pokemon with Scissor and Sceptile. It also does get Intimidate, which is really nice. Another Teleport user. You know, it's also a viable Will-O-Wisp user, which I also thought would be pretty nice for this team. I was deciding between Darmanitan and this, and I figured you know, this can be special as well. So I thought this would be better. And it also is just a little bit more defensive, which I felt like I needed. Like I said, with Will-O-Wisp and Teleport, it can also heal up with Morning Sun. It gets some nice priority with Extreme Speed. And overall, just like a really solid Pokemon. It's a mon that can do a lot of different things for your team. I don't really have a whole lot more to say about Arcanine. I don't think I've ever actually used Arcanine in a draft leagues before, so I'm definitely excited to try it out. This Pokemon was 12 points, by the way. Next up, we do finally get our first ground immunity. It is Articuno, and, you know, Ice Flying is not the greatest typing in the world. It's weak to a lot of things. It's obviously 50%, or it's quadruple weak to rocks, to rock type. With heavy duty boots now, though, you don't need to take 50% from Stealth Rock. So, you know, it has really good defenses with 100 base defense and 125 special defense. And really, what it's going to be doing is it can roost, defog, it can freeze dry, ice beam. And toxic and whatnot. So it's really going to be more of a defensive Pokemon. It can also heal Bell, actually, which I think is actually really important to have on your team. So that's also another really nice thing that it can do that the other birds I don't think can do. So yeah, it also has some phase ability with Roar, and it also has Haze, and I didn't mention Hurricane, and it has that as well. And you can also run Ice Shard if you wanted to. You could run a physical Articuno. But another Pokemon that I've never used before. We'll see how it goes. And another, you know, it's another fire type weakness, so having the Slowbro and the Arcanine is really nice. I mean, Garchomp also resists fire, but you know, I thought I could afford it, and there really weren't many good flying types left. And there were definitely not many flying types that made sense to me. There was like Gliscor and Gligar, which are really good, but I mean, we have Garchomp already, and you know, those were also really high tier Pokemon as well. Next up, we get our next ground immunity, which is Weezing. I mean, I'm mostly going to be running Levitate with this team, but it also does get Neutralizing Gas, which is a really cool ability. Right now, the only Hazard Setter we had is Garchomp, so having Toxic Spikes on Weezing is really nice. I do wish this thing got defog. Unfortunately, Galarian Weezing is the only one that got defog. I don't know why, but it is what it is. But it can set up the Toxic Spikes, it can Toxic and Will-O-Wisp, and then, you know, it's going to be running Sludge Bomb and like Flamethrower, Fire Blast. And Clear Smog's also really nice as well. It gets Clear Smog and Haze both, so it's a Pokemon that's, you know what it's going to do if it's coming, but it is still just a really, really solid defensive Pokemon that can take hits. I didn't have a poison type, which I also thought I needed, but I also did not want another ground type weakness. So I figured I would get this Pokemon, and it also can be a grounded poison type if I need it to be, if I think someone is going to be bringing Toxic Spikes. So overall, just a solid Pokemon, a Pokemon that I always really like drafting as a low tier wall or a low tier bulky Pokemon. It is 8 points along with Articuno, and yeah, there's not a whole lot more to say about Weezing in my opinion. Our penultimate pick was Passimian, another physical attacker, but I felt like it's always nice to have a fighting type Pokemon. It can be a really good Scarfer or Choice Band user. I mean, I think when I have this mon, like, I always tend to just run Scarf, but it has a very, very nice move pool, and a really high attack with 120, and, you know, a cool ability in Defiant. So if someone wants to, you know, defog away my Terrain, my Toxic Spikes, or my Stealth Rock, when we predict that, we can switch this in and we'll go to +2 attack. But as I said, it has a really nice move pool. It gets Close Combat, Earthquake, Gunshot, Knockoff, Iron Head, and some other really nice moves, and of course U-Turn as well. So another mon that can U-Turn, and I forgot to mention that Articuno can U-Turn as well. So, you know, so far we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Pokemon of our 10 that can U-Turn or or teleport. So that's really, really cool. Yeah, just really solid Pokemon. I thought this actually was a really good value at 6. I always think at 6 points, I always think Passimian's pretty underrated, honestly, because it's one of those fighting types that can really do damage to fairy types, which is pretty rare. I mean, it's not rare, but I think like I think people don't necessarily expect it. So yeah, I mean, another mon that I'm very excited to use. And then our last pick was Volibee, a 3-pointer, and unfortunately these are the wrong stats, so I'm actually going to, well, you know what, it's fine. These are not the right stats. Let me hide these. But Volibee was our last pick in the draft. I felt like we needed a dark type. Just having a dark type as a defensive type typing is really nice. We only have 2 psychic weaknesses in Weezing and what's it called, in Passimian, but you know, it's always nice to just have a dark type so you don't get swept by Storm Power. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. And it is it's a dark type that's not weak to fighting, so that helps with Mega Kangaskhan. It is yet another ground type immunity, so we're up to 3 now, which is, I think, really important for this team because we do have 2 ground type weaknesses in Coco and Arcanine. It does have 70 HP, 75 defense, and 65 special defense, but of course you stick an Eviolite on it and those defenses go way up. It's another Defogger, and it can knock off too as well. It's another U-turner too, and you know, you're just gonna run Toxic and Roost and do that type of thing with the team, with this mon. We'll see how much I bring it. Another mon I've never used, but I think at 3 points, it's fantastic value. So there you have it. There's my UPA team, all 11 Pokemon on the screen at once. I am running out of breath, like I said earlier. Let me know what you think of my team, and make sure you stay tuned for the first UPA battle. But yeah, let me know what you think of my team, what I did well, what I didn't do well. Like I said multiple times, where I was in the draft, I find it pretty difficult sometimes, but I think I'm gonna straight up say it, I don't think I'm the best drafter. I think, yeah, I mean, I think overall I'm just not the best drafter. But I'm pretty happy with this team. I think it's really threatening. I love offense. It has plenty of offense, but it also has some bulk, and it has a lot of momentum, and to put my Pokemon in really good positions, in my opinion. Anyway, that's it for me. Make sure you like and you subscribe if you haven't, and then hit the bell icon so you don't miss our week 1 battle or any of our Nuzlocke coming up. We'll be back next week with our stream. Like I said, make sure you go follow me on Twitter at BigTimeBrownie, on Twitch, twitch.tv/BigTimeBrownie. I'm going to get out of here. Remember, a video from Big Time keeps the life sublime. So until next time, bye guys.